AZ, this is a
Yo.
tune. You know, when you're in a club, yeah, just doing ones and twos. Ones and twos. Little skank, ones and twos.
I have to be honest with you, I've got no idea where you find these songs from. You have the most randomest collection I've ever heard in my life.
The song's called Ones and Twos. It's a guy called Cyfred and it's Magistics. So this is my piano. Have you seen some of the clips on TikTok? There's like this girl, she's dancing like, it's got a whistle like, and she's dancing so well. And yeah, I'm a piano, man. It's a good vibe. Honestly, ones and twos. Get on that.
Hey, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't recommend it to our viewers. So if you guys go and listen to the song and you don't like it, you know who to blame. It's not me.
Asa, you have no taste. That's your issue. We're trying to teach you one or two things. Like ones and twos is the first one.
Nah, do you know what? One day we'll do a challenge of like making a playlist and just putting it out there, and then we'll let the people decide who's better.
You also let the people decide, but you never do the admin around it though.
Of course we do. And actually, that's a really good segue. So, what's up everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of Just Another Podcast. Now, what makes today's episode a little bit more special, not to say that, you know, other episodes are not special, what makes today a bit more special is that we challenged ourselves this week to say, you know what, we often come up on this podcast and say, you know what, talk rubbish, get paid and all that kind of stuff, right? So today we were like, okay, we, on purpose, not that we're being lazy, on purpose, are not going to plan anything for today's episode. So I've got no idea what Tinashe is going to say. Tinashe has no idea what I'm going to say. Like, absolutely no ideas around the topics, what he wants to discuss, anything. And as this podcast kind of goes on, we will, you know, hear about each other's kind of topics for the first time and give you our live take on it. So we've not had the chance to actually think about it or anything.
You sound like someone who hasn't done their homework, like at school.
Technically,
why have you not done the homework?
This is more like what were they called, man? A surprise quiz. Like you know, it's not like we haven't done
That's an American term.
Quiz,
Yeah.
It's a bit like that because we kind of know, we knew the episode's coming, but we didn't do the homework on purpose, right? And since a special episode that we're doing, I am going to introduce a new segment that we can kind of carry on going forward as well, and it's called Story Time. Now, I'm going to tell you a little funny story.
Well, again, this comes back to the point. It's not a funny story if you say it's a funny story. Let the audience decide, or let me decide.
I'll let you decide, because I know you will laugh at it. I know you will, because when I heard the story, I laughed my head off. And after I've told you the story, right, you can judge me. You can judge my reaction to it. But so this happened to someone that we both know. Now, for his sake, I'm not going to say his name. But it's someone that we both know. He's a common friend. And I'll tell you after the podcast who it was. So this person, right, he's got like a very normal, standard, everyday car. Right, nothing special. A car that you would see quite a lot on the roads. He owns it.
What
you know,
kind of car has he got though? That would give it away for me. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a Ford, I think. So he's got like a normal car that normal people would have, right? Like a normal color, whatever. So one day, someone, you know, on the street has seen his car, and they also own the same model, and they own the same color car that he has. Does that make sense? Like what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Same model.
Same model, same color,
year.
same everything, same body shape, right? So like from the outside, the car looks they're identical. So what this person's done is he's taken his number plates, copied them, and put them onto his own car. And now he's been driving around all over the place, getting like parking tickets and like, you know, like random traffic tickets, right? And they all are coming to his house. And now, and I don't want to give no one listening to this podcast any bad ideas. Like this is illegal stuff. Like he get into a lot of trouble for it, so don't do it. But when I heard it, I laughed my head off. And what made it funny was, so he was telling me that the first time this random ticket came to his house, he was so confused because he was like, I don't think I've driven around that area. So where's this ticket from? And he kept like, he obviously for a couple of days kept thinking like, what the hell, like that's my car, that's my number plate, maybe I went by accident or whatever. So he paid for it. He was like, okay, maybe it's my fault, I'm gonna pay for it. And then a couple of days later, a few more tickets started to roll around. And he was just thinking to himself like, what the hell, like I haven't even gone out for the past couple of days, like where are these tickets coming from? And do you want to know how he clocked it? That it's not him and someone else is taking his number plates. Because on the pictures, right, if you look at the picture in itself, the way the person's made that number plate, he has done a really bad job. You know how your alphabets are lined up in the center, so like you have equal space on both sides. So this person, his number plate lines up from like the left hand side, and then so that's how he clocked it. So when he got the second ticket, he obviously contacted like the agency that deals with it, and he was like, "Listen, this is happening to me. This is not me driving." Yo, they didn't take him seriously. They were like, it's not our problem. You got the ticket, you pay for it. Either that or you call the police. So he had to go call the police, have like a full case book open on it, right? Where the police are like, are you sure it's not you driving? And then when he said, if you look at his number plates and if you look at mine, clearly he's done a really bad job. That's when they were like, oh, okay, do you know what? You're right. These are not your plates. Someone else is doing it for you. And I don't know, like, if the tickets have been cancelled or like what happens to them. I still need to speak to him. But when I heard that, bro, I laughed so hard. I was just like, this could only happen to you. No one else but you.
I think I know who that is.
You know exactly who that is. You know whose luck that is. Imagine that though, like someone's taking your number plates and you're just driving. Like, bro, you can get speeding tickets. You can get like points on your license, and next thing you're like, what the hell?
Yeah, you could be involved in a robbery. You could drive away. They could come and knock at your door.
Exactly, yeah. And again, please don't try this at home. Like, this is illegal, and if you do it, you will get in a lot of trouble. And the story's not being told to encourage you, but just as a funny story.
That's a strong disclaimer right there.
That
you must have got a lawyer
to. I don't want no backlash from this. Like, yo, these people gave us the idea. Like, I'm taking no responsibilities. At all.
There's a lot. Imagine like BBC News every time they announce something, they're like, "Oh, just a disclaimer: do not do this in real life."
I'm not taking any chances, bro. I'm not taking no chances from anyone saying we are the ones encouraging it. Like, I'm absolutely not encouraging it. But when I heard the story,
do not commit fraud, children. Do not commit fraud.
Fraud is bad for you. It will not take you down the right path. So say no. You know how to like say no to drugs, say no to fraud as well.
Yeah, say no to fraud. I've got so many questions about that story, but it might give away a lot.
I'll answer them as much as I can. But go on.
So I'm guessing the person lives close by, right? They've seen the car.
He doesn't know. Maybe it's like some random person who's driven past once. He's like, oh, he's got the same car as me. Take his number. Like, he's got no idea. He hasn't met the person. He doesn't know who it is. I didn't even, like, last time I spoke to him, he was like, yeah, I've told the police about it, and I'm not sure what they've done, and I'm not sure what they can do about it. Like, you know, like, what are you going to do?
How did the person know where he lived? It must just be identity fraud, right? Someone just stolen his identity.
In a way, yeah.
He needs to check his bank account.
I mean, they're not going to get to your bank account from your...
I don't know why I'm laughing at that.
They're not going to get to your bank account from your number plate. But yeah, like, so basically, I think the thing is, right, they want to drive on his insurance because, like, it's your number plate that, you know, tells the police and whoever, like, if you have insurance or not. So I think that's what they're trying to do.
In this, and the logic behind this, AZ. I'm concerned that you know this so well.
Hey, it might be me. I'm joking. It's not me, but...
Sorry, friend.
Sorry, friend. See that £500 you got going out your bank account? Yeah. Sorry. I'm liking my new Gucci trainers, huh?
Oh, a good, strong start. So Storytime, I want to introduce Storytime to the podcast. We'll see how it's received, and we'll keep it. I can verify that it's a funny story.
See? The
way I'm saying it, I can verify it's a very funny story. No enthusiasm in there.
1-0 to me.
I have no stories actually.
But yeah, no, I mean it's actually a question for like the listeners, right? Like if you guys have any funny stories, it doesn't have to be fraud related. Like any funny stories that's happened to you, your family, your friends, share in the comments. We would love to read them and, you know, have a laugh. So, you know, if they're funny,
yeah,
share it.
Yeah, someone doesn't have to suffer,
I mean, if someone does, then it's always a bit funnier. But yeah, no one has to suffer.
No one has to suffer. That's the main content. So story time. That's a very good story. I've got also just this thing, because obviously you said at the beginning, where do I get this random music from? Firstly, it's not random, right? You need to be on the pulse with these things. Like, it's not my fault. It's not my fault.
You're still stuck there, yeah?
Yeah, that's not my fault.
I've criticized your music choices.
Yeah, like you got to be. We're going to do, I think as introductions going forward, we'll do a little intro, like a song introduction. You know, the wrestlers like WrestleMania and stuff, when they used to do, well, they still do it, like a theme song, like an entrance song. So each episode will have like an entrance song. Like, it's all about the game. Play it.
Bro, no lie, I was thinking of exactly the same song. Like, as soon as you said wrestling theme songs, that was the first song that came to my head. That the big
is a banger.
The guitar thing that goes off and then it just comes out like it's all. Oh wow, good memories, man.
Good times. Triple H go boom. That's it.
Apparently he recently retired because he had some heart surgery. Like he was on, I think, ESPN, giving some guy he did like an interview and he was saying like he had some like really big heart issue or a massive heart attack. And like he was apparently really close to dying as well, but now he's doing well, which is, obviously wish him like a speedy recovery and hope he's back to normal. He is a legend, Triple H. But yeah, no, it's crazy to see, and he was saying like he's retired, which is weird because like obviously you've kind of grown up seeing this guy, so like it makes you realize that you're getting old as well.
Yeah, for me, it's a personal thing. It's such a weird segue, but we're rolling with this.
Anything goes today.
You know, when you see your parents getting older, you realize they're getting older and more fragile, right? But then also at the same time, you also realize yourself, you're also getting older. And that's a stupid thing to say. It's very, very dumb and not very clear. But once you see your parents getting older, they get fragile. You won't get worried about them. You're like, oh, I'm also getting older, but you're not getting fragile as you get older. I know, like humans, as we age, we deteriorate. You're not at that stage yet. So whenever I see my parents, I'm always like, ooh, they're getting a bit older. They're getting a little bit more grey than the last time I saw them.
Do you know what you say that?
That's the thing that scares me in general. I don't think aging should scare you, but it scares me that my parents are getting fragile with age. And that's the one thing.
See, for me personally, right, I never really felt like I was getting older till I hit 25. And then like up till that 25, I was like, yeah, I'm young. And then the 25 hit me. I was like, oh no, I'm old. And then every single birthday that goes, like up to 25, like, like when your birthday comes around, like I never had that thought in my mind ever that you are getting older. And then for some random reason, as soon as I hit that 25, I was just like, every single birthday that comes now, it's like, wow, you're getting older. Like you're getting older. And it's really weird. Like, do you get the same feeling?
It's funny you say that. We're having it. It's not that profound what we're talking about. But the age thing, honestly, it hits you. I think for me, it's not turning a particular age.
When did it hit you then? Like, when is the first time that, you were like, wow, like I'm actually getting old now?
My younger cousin, like my niece, you know how it is, right? It's not my sister's daughter, but she's my niece because cultural reasons, etc., etc. It's my effectively, you know the drill. But she is my niece for all intents and purposes. Turned 5, like this year, turned 5, right? But then I saw her when she was 3, and I knew when she was born, right? So, because of the pandemic,
you're telling me in your life you've seen her 3 times: when she was born, when she turned 3, and when she turned 5.
Like 3 stages, like 3 stages, right? Like 3 stages, like the key stages, right? When she turned, because of the pandemic, I didn't get to see her like for the last 2 years. So I saw her for her 5th birthday. And I was like, she's 5. I remember being 5. And that's when it hit me. I was like, she's 5. In 5 years' time, she's 10. Obviously, that's how maths works. But it's just insane.
I love how you explain it. That's how maths works.
In 5 years, she'll be 10. Quick maths. But that's what hit me the most. Because I was obviously relaxed with stuff. I still am. But it's knowing someone from when they were born to when they hit the age of 5. Because 5 is like a landmark birthday. I was like, this is too much for me.
Does that make you... I don't know, because like it's weird, right? Because like, even though I said like I feel like I'm getting older, like in my day to day it hasn't really changed me. It's only when those certain occasions happen that you realize like, okay, I am getting older and I need to grow up.
And someone asks, how old are you?
Yeah, like bro, so many times, like when people ask me that, for some reason, right, my mind goes to like 25. And then I'm like, no, you're not. You're not 25. You were 25 a couple years ago. You're not 25 anymore.
It's a catfish.
It's really weird. Like, for some reason, as soon as people ask me that, my mind always goes to 25. And
maybe
then...
you're like forever 21. I think in your mind, you're forever 25.
Maybe. Like, because like, you know...
What happened to you when you're 24? What good things happened to you when you're 25?
I don't know. I mean... It was a good year, but like nothing special happened.
How good of a year was it? Wish I was 25 again.
Maybe it's just me trying to stick to my youth and be like, yeah, I don't want to get old, you know. I want to stay happy with the 25.
You're still in your youth. I think everyone's still in their youth until they hit like 45.
Nah, that's just old people talk, man. you hit that big 30, man, and it's like, whoa, oh no.
That's what my aunt keeps telling me. She's like, don't worry, when you get 45, that's when you get older. But that's it.
I think that's just people clinging on. Like, no offense, like, I don't mean to be rude to anyone, but I think that's just people clinging on.
Oh,
like,
look at you,
maximum,
you.
Maximum is 35, bro. After that, you gotta be like, yeah, time to grow up, man.
You're talking rubbish. All the 35-year-olds out there, all the 40-year-olds out there, you're still part of the youth. Keep listening.
Oh, I mean, keep listening, absolutely. But I mean, sorry to bring it to you.
You're not gonna just like random like, you're old, man, you're old. But
hey, someone needs to give him a wake up call.
Pay your bills, man.
You can't be out there wearing skinny jeans after 45. Like, no, you gotta give them up.
Dress your age. That's another thing. Like people like dress your age or act your age. Away from age, because age is a sensitive topic. Because AZ is just going for the over 40s for no reason.
I'm just going for the cure. I'm sorry, guys.
You woke up on the wrong side of bed today. It's like, we don't discriminate on age or any other categories that are protected by the Equality Act 2010.
How do you even know the freaking act? What were you, like a lawyer or something in your past life?
I don't know. Maybe.
Why do I feel like you had to bring that up at some point in your life? That's why you know it. Did some young kid laugh at your age and you're like, nope, the Equality Act of 2010 says I'm the same as you, so shut your mouth.
Yeah. My niece is like, you're old. I was like, hold on.
Let me get the book out.
Let me get the book out. Don't break the law, kid. All these things are happening, right? We talked about age, but then there's also another thing, which is like, you know, when people have like long-term relationships or stuff like that, right? Like, how does someone meet someone at 16? This is me genuinely asking. I'm not a little bit, I might sound a little bit jealous, a little bit bitter. Now I'm fully processing. Like,
I'm loving the disclaimers coming out before you get to it.
That just sounds like a hater right there. How does someone meet someone at 16, 14, 15, 16, whatever age it is, be like, that's the love of my life, and then spend their whole life with them?
But how many times does that actually work out, though? Like, how many people do you know?
There's so many people.
Do you actually know people who met their partners at like that age and they're still together?
So many people. Like some of the older people in my family, met their partners when they're young.
But that was a different generation. Those people were built different to us, man. Like
Even then,
we are different people.
It still blows my mind. Like, how does that happen? How do you, in the school playground, just walk up to someone like, babes?
Bro, like, you're saying that, right? Go a bit further back, right? Obviously, in today's time and age, like, you know, like, say, for example, if you take Asian people, right? Like, arranged marriages isn't a thing anymore. But, like, go back in time, like, you would meet your missus for the first time on your wedding day.
Oh, imagine that, though.
How can you live your life with someone you don't even know? And, like, you meet them on your wedding day and you're just like, who the hell are you? You know what I mean?
Some of those relationships have lasted a very long time.
Bro, they lasted till they, you know, till like they died, like their families and they lived their life. But like for us to think about it, how did you guys survive that?
That sounds stressful.
Thing is, even
yeah.
Even today, right? Like sometimes when this arranged marriage stuff happens, like it's a bit different where, you know, like you, like at least you would have some interaction with the person and like that kind of stuff. Back in the day, bro, like these people had absolutely nothing. Like you wouldn't even see their picture.
Mm.
Like, wow.
I'm gonna sound superficial, but imagine that.
Like, wow. You gotta give them a lot of credit for like living their life, and then actually most of them live like decent lives as well. So it's like, well, good on you.
Maybe it's actually loving someone for who they are rather than what they look like.
But you don't know who they are.
Someone must have done the vetting, right? Like someone must have been like, this person's decent.
Yeah, but like the things that you're looking for in a person might be different to what, you know, someone older in your family who's doing the vetting for you might consider. Right? Because you might be like, I want someone who's got like a, you know, like a similar personality to me and like I can actually chill with. That to me is the most important thing. What do they look for? Like, they're a really good cook, for example. I don't know.
If my mum looked for my partner, she would completely mess that up. I love you, mum. Keep listening. Keep supporting.
See, you just messed up because now your mum just said, all right, screw you. She's closed the browser and now she's off. And you crossed that view into that shit.
Keep listening. I love you, but you would
Auntie, please come back. I'm on your side.
She would completely mess that up. She would have no clue.
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely none.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
There's Love is Blind though. There's a show on.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I mean, I don't admit it like I've seen it, but yeah, I've seen it. Do you know what? I'm not gonna lie. Season 1 was actually pretty decent. I haven't seen season 2, but season 1 was actually pretty decent.
Season 2 gets chaotic. So for those who haven't seen the show, the premise is a bunch of people, men and women, go in 2 separate buildings. And they go into these things called pods. So imagine a Catholic confessional, but in a room. So
you're not going in to confess your sins, are you?
I mean, some of them confess their sins in there. So it's an apt comparison, right? So they then, you know, in these rooms have conversations without ever seeing each other. And the idea is that they will find the love of their life without actually seeing them. So love is blind. That's when it comes in. So these people get emotionally attached. They build this connection, this bond, just based on hearing what the other person's saying and their voice, right? And the first time they see the person is after they've proposed to them.
And the other person's accepted as well.
Yeah. Acceptance is key. That's the key thing here. And then they go into the real world, live their lives together. Towards the end, they decide whether to get married or not.
Do you think there's a bit of a, I don't want to call it fake, but like there's a bit of a setup there as well? Or is it actually people not meeting each other and then proposing and kind of taking that journey?
Yeah, it's real. There's a few of them on Instagram. Oh, I'm shamelessly plugging again. On a social media platform that shows pictures.
I love how you say the name and then you take it back to the social media platform. Like people are just gonna forget what you said a second ago.
Yeah, trying to get that sponsorship deal, man.
Mark, we love you. That's what more do I have
We
to
love,
say?
we love you. Screw your human rights violations.
We don't blame anything on you. We're here for you.
We're here for you. All those elections that were rigged, it's got nothing to do with you at all. They have kind of social media following, and it's real. They really do meet people and have a special connection with them. Obviously, some of them don't work, but the whole concept, to me, of not seeing someone is interesting.
Would you ever try a show like that where you have to go in and not just to find someone to date, but like you have to propose to them? Would you go on that show?
That's a tricky question, you know. Nah.
Yeah, I couldn't do it either. Like, I'd be like, no chance.
I can't do it.
There's too many uncertain like risks there that you're just like, I can't. Like, no, man, this is too much. This is too much for me.
And then this is a question. It's like, this is too much for you. Here's the question, because I sounded so bitter, but I'd be like, I can't believe you meet the love of your life at 15 or 16. Like, how does that work? It's really bitter from me. I'm such a hater. Apologies to people who met the love of their lives at those tender ages. Again, even then, saying a tender age is just like, it's just a massive dig. It sounds like a dig when it's not a dig, if you know what I mean.
Go on, ask your question.
Do you believe in the one, or do you believe there's several people for someone?
Wow, that is deep.
It's not that deep. Come on, it's a simple question.
Bro, it is deep. This is the type of question that you need like a couple of days to be like, this is coming up. Like, think about it.
Well, you didn't want to do the admin before the episode, so here we go.
Do I think there's the one, or if there's multiple?
Shall I go first?
I think there's probably multiple people out there that you're compatible with. Because I think a lot of times, like, I don't want to call them traits, because like, you're not trying to like say, oh, the person needs to have this, this, and this, but the things that you're looking for, you would often find them in a lot of people out there. Now, some people might have a certain something that you're looking for more than others, which might make them a bit more appealing for you. But if it doesn't kind of work out with them, because maybe there's certain other things that it's not for you, there would be other people out there who, you know, are similar to how you are or what you're looking for. So I think there's probably more than like one person out there for you. Like, there isn't just the one. Because, like, no one's going to be the one, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like you're creating someone from scratch. Remember Powerpuff Girls, where the guy was dropping, like, all that kind of stuff in? Like, I want this, and I want, like, you're not dropping into, like, a magic potion there. It's like, you know, you're basically finding people who already exist. So I think there's more.
You referenced the Powerpuff Girls there. That's a strong reference.
That's a very strong reference.
Cartoon Network.
I want my standing ovation. Get up and give me a clap.
Yeah, I can get up, man. I can give you like a round of applause. I think there's also like a certain je ne sais quoi that someone has.
Look at you trying to show off them fancy words.
Yeah, I've been learning French and Duolingo.
Who are you trying to impress? It's only me and you on the podcast, bro.
Well, you know, certain je ne sais quoi, as they say in France. As they say in France, Algeria, Morocco, Senegal. No, I think there's characteristics, but I think sometimes there's also like an intangible thing, right? Maybe those people, again, who met their partners at a tender age, just found it instantly, which is just, there's something about someone.
Or
that's not even a quality. It's just, there's something about their whole being, like their whole vibe. You're just like, whoa.
Okay, but on the flip side, right? And you know this because we know like a lot of people in sort of like normal life. You know, when you're with someone, you find someone. In normal
life, you know.
Like, you know, when you're with someone, right? Like, oftentimes, even if it's not great or, you know, perfect or there's issues there, right? People often, they're too afraid to lose what they have. So they just kind of stick it out. So do you think these people who, at like, say, 15, 16, got together with someone, at a young age, you got together, so like you've developed that like emotional things somewhere, right? So even if things are not great, and if you were to have a similar situation maybe later in your life, you'd be like, yeah, this doesn't work for me. But because you've kind of gotten into it at such a young age, there's that emotional thing of like, oh, I don't want to lose this because I don't know what else is out there, which is keeping you together.
Why is this section turned into digging at childhood sweethearts?
I'm not digging into it. I'm not. It's not even for like childhood. It's even with like older people, right? Sometimes they get into it, and it's like I'm too afraid to lose what I have because I don't know what else I'm gonna get. Is that the right way to think about it?
So I agree with you. It's not always about, you know, whether the person that you're with ticks every box per se, right? But maybe that's where people kind of go wrong, right? They always think there's more out there. But really, the person that you're with could be, you know, a really great person, but they might have one or two issues that you can work out. But I think if you don't have that ability to work out the issues, then, you know, you're just settling. I think that's your question, right? Are people in summary, are people settling down for the person that they're with? I think in some cases, yes. But it's also quite difficult to like meet someone and then get to know them and then get to a stage where you're comfortable with them saying, actually, I really want to spend not the rest of my life, but like 5, 10, 15, 20 years, wherever, with them.
Oh, if you spend 20 years with someone, right? Surely you're hoping for like the rest of your life. You're not going to put like a stamp on it to be like 20 years is the max we're going to do. After 20 years, I need to change. After 20 years, you'll be hoping like, yeah, this can go the distance now.
Hey, there's always a get out clause, man. There's always a get out clause.
I mean, I don't know, because I think like once you get to that stage, surely you're looking for like, yeah, this is like for life now. Like I can understand 5 years, 10 years. When you're pushing the 20s, 25s, you're like, yeah, maybe, you know, now I'm just going to stick to where I am and I'm comfortable with life. Because clearly you're comfortable enough to be living it.
I'm just opening things up, bro. But then there's a lot more divorces nowadays, though. So that's a key consideration that people will have, right? In terms of that. So, hey, man, if it gets to 20 or 30 years, I'm like, I'm tired of this. I'll get out. I encourage everyone else to get out of their situations if they're unhappy.
In 20 to 30 years, right? If we take 30, you'll be, close to 60? So at that stage, wouldn't you just be like, I've kind of know what my life is here. Like, clearly it's not that bad that I've stuck around for 30 years. I might as well go the distance and continue living the comforts that I have. You know.
But do you know people will not necessarily get comfortable, right? But there's a codependency. If you're in a long-term relationship where you start doing things together, you work almost as a team, I think. I don't know. I'm not an expert on this. But people work as a team, and then it's almost, you get used to that. It's very difficult to imagine your life without the other person.
But so that's your comfort still, right?
But yeah, that's what I get when I talk to people who are a little bit older and know, sadly, when their partners pass away, they're like, oh, I can't live without them, because they're with them on a daily basis, pretty much. Their lives are organized together. They turn up to events together. They just do everything together. So, yeah.
Do you know what? It doesn't even have to be life partners, because I'll tell you like this story, right? So, I know story time's gone, but like considering what you were saying, right? A couple years ago, I had these neighbors, and like there were two sisters that, you know, they never got married and they lived together like all their life, right? And they were quite old.
Living life.
So, and they were quite old as well.
Men are trash. Who needs partners? Well,
for all I know, that's what they could have been, because like they weren't married all their lives, and like they were really nice people. And like these two sisters, like they were living together, right? And so one day there was an ambulance that pulled up outside their house, and we saw like one of them kind of stretched into it and like taken away, right? So, and like the whole family was there, and like the other sister also went. So it was like, you know, hopefully she's okay, whatever. A couple days later, we saw like one of the sisters, and we were like, oh, so how's your sister doing? Is she okay? And she was like, yeah, she passed away that day. And she kind of talked about the same thing where she was like, we've lived all our lives together, more or less, because I think they're like maybe 1 or 2 years age gap. So like, and they were probably in the 80s, right? Like high 80s. She was like, we've spent all our life together, right? And there were certain things that I kind of depended on her to do. And there were certain things that sort of were my responsibilities in the house.
Yeah.
And it was like a similar thing where, because they lived together for so long, they were so used to living that life. And then obviously one of them passed away, and she was saying the same thing, where she was, I'm kind of really lonely now in a way. And like, I don't really know, you know, like how life is going to continue, which was really sad to hear.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
there we go. It just doesn't have to be just kind of people that are romantically involved, you know. And that's a great point, because the thing what I'm also finding, people sometimes don't find their soulmate in their partner, like the romantic partner. People are starting to find their soulmate in friends.
that's a slippery road. That is a very slippery road. I'm not sure.
You know what I mean, though?
I'm not sure if your partner would agree with that. She'd just be like, "Get your ass back in it." What do you mean?
I'm just saying what the newspapers are telling me.
You're gonna blame on the newspapers, yeah?
Yeah. I'm gonna blame on this and that, right? Which is, if a lot of people are now finding sort of partnerships in friends, because with friends you can be pretty consistent. Like with some of them, you can be friends for life, really, without having the added responsibility. So their friends are their partners for life, right? Because they share everything.
I mean, I kind of get what you mean, but I think that's definitely taking a turn where things can go really, really wrong quickly. So I've got no comments on it.
Yeah, you don't want to tell whoever you're seeing, you're actually not the love of my life. It's my friend.
Imagine, I can't even imagine someone's kind of bringing that conversation up. Well, what does that even mean? Like, what are you trying to say to me?
No, but it's true though. Like, you can still, because it's a lot to have a partner, right? It's a lot for one person to handle. So I was thinking it's better for that situation to be handled by loads of people.
If you're saying that your friend is like the more compatible person,
I'm not saying
lack of a better word.
For the record, I am not saying that. I have not said that.
For the lack of a better word, if you're saying that, you know, like your friend is a better life partner for you, right? In terms of you understanding each other, and like, shouldn't they be your life partner then?
The thing is, you might not find them attractive, right? Because that's where the barrier it potentially is. You just don't find them attractive, or, you know, they're the wrong type of person for you. So that's where the thing comes in. But like I said, do not shoot the messenger. I've read the article. I'm just relaying the messages here.
All right, I just want to know one more thing. What's her name?
Who's her?
You tell me. Sooner or later, I'll find out who your partner for life is. So, what's her name? Who have you been eyeing up?
I don't believe in partners for life. I believe in
live every moment of your life.
I don't believe in partners. I don't believe in partners for life. I believe in several. No.
Your mic caught that one, so it's definitely going now, bro. That is not getting taken out in the edit.
I am the editor. That's a funny thing.
I'll make sure that if you don't put it up, I'll put the unedited version up for just people to listen to everything and be like, this is what he said.
I believe in not several partners throughout my life. I'm a one and done kind of guy, right? If I ever get married, I think I'll just want to get married once and avoid divorce. I know people say no one ever gets married with the intention of getting divorced, right? But I genuinely mean that. So I believe that there's people that are compatible with you, like several people that are compatible with you. Your responsibility is to make sure that you find that person and they also view you in that sense. Because there's no point of one person being like, oh, you're the person for me. but then the other person doesn't quite feel that way. But I guess you never be in a situation if the other person doesn't feel that way as well.
Yeah, but that's when you get friend zoned, and you're the best friend who's there for the for the heart to hearts that you're talking about with the compatible friends, and then you've got
exactly.
you've got the other romantic interests, and then you become the best friend.
Hey, all I'm saying is, I've relayed a very serious article, just outlaying how humans are evolving.
Which newspapers are you reading for these articles?
Hey, I'll show you. I'll put in the link.
Share a link in the description because I think people want to read this.
It's a good article. I recommend it.
Do you know what though? I have to say, right? Again, we didn't plan this episode and we've just been talking from the top of our heads. And I'm kind of proud of ourselves because I think we'll let the audience decide, right? But I think it's been pretty decent.
Too early.
We've spoken for what is it? A long, long time, right? And this has just been us talking without any prep or, without any this is coming up or let's talk about this, which I think is pretty cool. We can actually talk rubbish. We've lived up to our motto here, talk rubbish, get paid.
So talk rubbish, get paid. That's a PC version of it. Thank you very much for listening. AZ, you do the admin on this one. I'm just...
Yeah, I mean...
I'm scarred for your personal digs at me.
Thanks everyone for listening. It was another episode. Hopefully you guys liked it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let us know, what else you would like to hear us talk about. Your own stories, suggestions, any comments that you have. Wherever you listen to this, follow, keep us on the loop, StatPad. You know how we do here. It's a team effort. We love you all. And yeah, just keep listening and supporting.
Our success is your success.
Yeah, I mean...
Remember that.
Once we become successful, we'll be doing a lot of stuff to give back. So that's an incentive.
Yeah, why am I talking as if I'm a football manager or someone at Glastonbury going, my success is all down to you.
I love you. This is for you. But yeah,
I love you all. Good night, Glastonbury.